Lobster is where America goes for seafood.
Remember when going out to eat felt like a real event? Let's take a trip back to the 1970s, to those forgotten restaurants that we miss from the past. Ready? Red Lobster. Going out to Red Lobster in the 70s was a big deal. Families dressed up, it felt fancy, and it was a special night out. Maybe it was where you tried seafood for the first time, or had your first date. Popcorn shrimp, hush puppies, those were the days. Founded in 1968 in Florida, it grew fast through the 1970s. By the mid-80s, it had become the go-to seafood place across the U.S. with over 400 locations. Lobster tails and the all-you-can-eat fish fry nights were fan favorites. For many kids, this was their first time trying crab legs or clam chowder, a real treat. The menu even had popcorn shrimp and a salad bar that felt like an oceanfront buffet. For many families, it was where you went to celebrate birthdays, graduations, or just enjoy something different. The shrimp was endless, but sadly, the chain was not. While Red Lobster still exists today, the once beloved seafood chain filed for bankruptcy in 2024. Several factors led to the decline, including new ownership, rising costs, and decisions that left the company deep in debt. So tell me, do you remember when Red Lobster was a fancy place? Share your memories with us. Pizza Inn. Before pizza chains were everywhere, there was Pizza Inn, and it really felt like the place to be. A lot of people say it was even better than Pizza Hut. I was a big fan myself. The thin crust pizza just hit different. It was one of the first pizza spots to offer an all-you-can-eat buffet, and that became their thing. Founded in 1958 in Texas, the chain grew fast in the 60s and 70s. By the mid-1980s, there were over 500 locations across the U.S. The buffet had everything: spaghetti, fried chicken, corn on the cob, and all kinds of pizza, thin crust, pepperoni, even taco pizza, and it cost just $1.65. Can you believe those prices? Walking in during the 70s was a full experience. Great pizza, arcade games, and a cozy dining room with warm lighting. Many people remember it as the place to go after a little league game or after church with the family. A few spots still exist today, but most are gone. Still, for those of us who grew up with it, Pizza Inn brings back the best kind of childhood memories. And honestly, it had the best thin crust pizza ever. Casa Bonita. This wasn't just a restaurant. It was an adventure. Eating at this place felt like stepping into a theme park. You didn't just come for the food, you came for the show. Cliff divers, puppet theaters, mariachi bands, caves to explore. It had it all. Founded in 1974 in Lakewood, Colorado, this restaurant became a legend in the region. It later expanded to other states, but the Lakewood location was always the most famous. The food? Classic Texan-Mexican food, enchiladas, tacos, and those amazing sopapillas with honey. But let's be honest, people came more for the fun than the flavor. Kids especially loved exploring Black Bart's cave or watching someone dive into a pool right next to their table. Birthday parties there felt huge and unforgettable. Casa Bonita closed for a while, but the memories never faded. And here's some good news. After years of being shut down, it was brought back in 2023 by the creators of South Park. If you ever went there as a kid, you know it wasn't just dinner. It was pure magic. Hot Shops. This sit-down diner was famous for its frosted mugs of root beer. Started in 1927 by J. Willard Marriott. Yes, the same man behind Marriott Hotels. It was one of the first places where families could stop for a hot, affordable meal during a road trip. By the 1970s, Hot Shops had become a favorite across the East Coast and Midwest. Some locations even offered curbside service. Waiters on roller skates would bring your food right to the car. The menu was full of comfort food: fried chicken, the mighty Mo burger, onion rings, and ice cream cakes. And those milkshakes, thick, creamy, and served in tall silver cups, just like the good old days. The restaurants had a retro style with counters, booths, and friendly service. For many families, it was a favorite weekend stop, and if you were lucky, there was a jukebox playing your favorite song in the background. A lot of good memories. Sadly, most hot shops were closed by the mid-1980s as Marriott shifted focus to the hotel business. Happy Joe's Pizza and Ice Cream. This place was all about fun, pizza, ice cream, and loud birthday songs that made every kid feel like a star. Happy Joe's started in 1972 in Davenport and quickly became a family favorite in the Midwest. By the late 1970s and into the 80s, the restaurant had dozens of locations. It wasn't just another pizza place, it had personality. The founder, Happy Joe Whitty, used to say he wanted to combine a pizza parlor with an ice cream shop and a party place. And that's exactly what he did. The taco pizza was the star of the menu, with taco meat, cheese, lettuce, and crushed chips on top. Sounds different? It was. And people loved it. The ice cream was just as fun. Giant sundaes with whipped cream and a cherry on top, banana splits, and those big milkshakes that felt like a meal. Great memories. There were arcade games, booths packed with families, and staff who actually sang to you on your birthday, loudly. This was the place to celebrate. Birthdays, wins, or just a fun Saturday night out. Some restaurant locations still exist today, but for many the golden years were the 70s and 80s. So tell us, do you remember the rainbow lollipops, the balloons, and that unforgettable taco pizza? What a time to be a kid. Holly Farms Fried Chicken. This chain was all about crispy, golden chicken served in a friendly, family-style setting. Holly Farms started in 1969 in North Carolina and quickly became a favorite across the South. By the 1970s, it had dozens of locations. At its peak, it was the go-to spot for a hot, delicious meal. One standout treat? The potato wedges and fried chicken sandwiches, crunchy, full of flavor, and loved by kids and grown-ups alike. And those potato wedges, everyone loved them. Many still remember that first bite of hot, crunchy chicken. Such good food, especially the wedges. Most locations closed by the 1980s and 1990s, but for those who ate there, Holly Farms still brings back warm memories. The best chicken and taters. Who remembers? Barney's Beanery. This place was a slice of Americana, a must-eat spot on every trip to Los Angeles in the 70s. Barney's Beanery started way back in 1920 in California and became an iconic hangout. Great food and even better people watching. By the 1970s, it was already a legend in LA. The menu was huge, with chili, burgers, fries, and milkshakes. Their chili was a standout, served hot, hearty, and packed with flavor. People came from all over just to try it. It had that classic diner meets roadhouse vibe, neon signs, walls covered in celebrity photos, and a buzz of conversation. You never knew who you'd see, musicians, actors, artists. Barney's was the place to be, and get this, it's been around for over a century. Into the 80s and 90s, Barney's stayed popular, still drawing celebrities and locals alike. For West Coast boomers, this place holds the memory of burgers with friends and music on the jukebox. Today, a few locations are still going strong, keeping its original spirit alive. Stop by and you might just feel like you've stepped back into the golden years. The Red Coach Grill. This was the kind of place you dressed up for. The Red Coach Grill was known for being a little fancier, a steakhouse where families went to celebrate something special, a true family favorite. The chain began in the 1930s in Massachusetts and was soon bought by Howard Johnson's around 1937, becoming part of their upscale dining division. By the 1970s, it had grown to around 30 locations, mostly in New England, but also in other parts of the United States, offering diners a consistent and elegant steakhouse experience. Steaks, lobster, prime rib, baked potatoes, and popovers. Every dish was made with care and served in generous portions. The restaurant's red coach decor, candlelit tables, and dark wood booths gave it a warm yet refined atmosphere that made any family dinner feel like a special occasion. Most Red Coach Grill locations closed by the late 80s, but their spirit lives on in places like the Coach Grill in Massachusetts. So, did you know it was once owned by Howard Johnson's? Pretty fancy, right? White Tower. This was the cool, clean answer to drive-in burgers, like a slick cousin of White Castle. Founded in 1926 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, it quickly spread across the Midwest and East Coast. These spotless white buildings looked like mini castles, a clever move to ease public fears about ground beef after the jungle, that infamous 1906 book turned everyone off meat. The restaurant took off fast. By 1949, they had 230 locations across 10 states, serving up foil-wrapped burgers, fries, milkshakes, and breakfast sandwiches. My favorite? The Butterburger. And guess what? It was unbeatable, especially at 2 a.m. They were the best. White Castle actually sued them for copying their style, the building design, slogan, and even the name. White Tower fought back, but in the end had to change their look and pay a fine. The burger wars were real. Next door. Back in the 70s, Red Owl was a beloved small grocery chain in the Midwest, and next door was its cozy cafe right inside the store. Imagine shopping for groceries, then heading next door for a fresh-made sandwich, a slice of pie, or a cup of coffee. It felt like a little community hub. Red Owl started in the 1920s, and by the 1970s, many stores had a next-door cafe attached. The menu was simple and comforting: grilled ham and cheese, fresh salads, homemade soups, pie by the slice, and hot coffee. For many shoppers, next door was the best part of grocery trips: a quick lunch, a sweet treat, or a warm cup after picking up your groceries. When Red Owl was sold and the stores were rebranded in the late 1970s and 80s, most next-door cafes disappeared too. Before you go, what old restaurant do you miss the most? Share your favorite in the comments.